Hello again, diarrhea people. I just wanted to spend a little time explaining a rough evening I had the other night that resulted in quite a commotion. Just so that everyone knows, even when you're doing good, sometimes you're going to have some really bad evenings or really bad days. But I'm here today and I'm not locked up in a hospital because I used my brain and once again advocated for myself, which I am learning is so important. It means everything to do it to protect yourself and defend yourself if you're not wanting to be locked up for some time. I had decided that I was a bit tired of things, and I did certain things to myself that put me in a very precarious position. And I got taken to the hospital because it was near a road and someone saw me. And trigger warning, there was quite a bit of blood. And they strapped me in, and then they told me that I was going to have to stay for a few days while they tried to get me a seat in the VA Waco psych ward, which is a horrible place. So I told them no, and I tore out my IV, took off all my cardiac readings and everything else they had me hooked up to, demanded my clothes. They said no, so I said I'm just going to leave in my suicide guard then. And I walked outside, followed by 2 security guards and several nurses, and then 4 or 5 different cop cars showed up and circled me. And we sat there negotiating for like 10 minutes or so about me going back in. And I was not having it. I was in a very bad place. I was not going back inside. But then a lady cop came forward, and instead of being aggressive, she literally just held out her hand for me to take. And I don't know why I trusted her, and I don't know why I took her hand, but I did. And she calmly walked me back in and held my hand for a while they hooked me back up to everything and gave me medicines to calm me down. And I was able to avoid being committed by having the doctor override the MHMR people by explaining that the 72-hour hold would end with me being stranded in Waco with no one to pick me up and nowhere to go. And I spent a lot of time explaining to him that I didn't need that. I needed outpatient and I needed help in a different way. And it just showed me that even when I was surrounded by a bunch of aggressive security and cops, that there's always going to be someone out there, someone kind, to offer a helping hand, and all you got to do is be willing to reach for it and grab it, because it made a huge difference for me, and it helped me calm down enough to think of how not to be there and to think my way out of it. So I would strongly suggest that you keep your eyes open for those people that offer you their hands, because they want to help. Family members or friends or even strangers, if you're in a really difficult place and you have no one else, don't be afraid to grab their hand, because it could make a really big difference for you. And I hope all of you are actually having the best day possible. It's a bit lonely here. I got 4 days by myself and I can't go anywhere without a vehicle, and my lungs are still bad, so I can't walk anywhere. So I'm doing my best to keep my mind active and doing some writing. And I suggest, if you're like me and you can't stand boredom and obsessive thoughts begin to create in your head and get worse and worse, find something to distract yourself with, because that's one of the best ways to break the cycle of those obsessive thoughts. At least that's how it is with me. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I will talk to you soon. Thank you. So some of my favorite music is singer-songwriter music and some Celtic music and some hip-hop and classical, and I guess I love every style of music as long as it's a good song. That's what matters. So that's an answer to one question. And another is yes, having so many people see me has been very, very overwhelming, but I'm also thankful because so many of you have been so nice and so kind, and I cannot thank you enough. And thank you for being my friend. What does it mean to be brave? Does that mean that you're invincible and nothing bad or dark ever touches you? I don't think that's the way it works. I think being brave is living day by day. I know what it's like to want to let go and to try to let go, but I also know what it's like to want to hold on. Many of us, we live a duality in our lives where sometimes we're okay and sometimes we're not. And it should be all right to experience both of them without being judged or commented on in negative ways. I know I've tried giving up, and I tell you it was not worth it, and I should have had more respect for myself, but I felt like I didn't have any respect or love in my life at all, but I did. And if I had paid more attention, I would have known I didn't have to do all of that by myself. And that's important. Something I'm learning is that having a community or people around you that care can make a big difference, and you got to be willing to try. I think I've said everything I need to say. I love you.
You want to know one of the worst feelings, Gracie? I know you're not there because you died, but I'm going to pretend you're there so I can talk to you. One of the worst feelings you can have is a true understanding that you are in literal hell with no escape. It is not a joke or a horror movie. That every waking moment is an endless and out-of-body experience torture that meditates you to sleep when you get home.